Data collection is the systematic process of gathering and measuring information from variables of interest in a way that enables researchers to answer questions, test hypotheses, and evaluate outcomes. It is common across all fields of study, though methods may differ by discipline, with an emphasis on accuracy and honesty to maintain the integrity of research. The ultimate goal is to obtain quality evidence that translates into reliable data analysis and credible answers to research problems. Regardless of whether the data is quantitative or qualitative, accurate collection is essential. Even the best research design cannot succeed without appropriate data. Data collection requires careful planning, patience, perseverance, hard work, and attention to detail. It begins with determining the type of data needed, selecting a sample from the target population, and using appropriate instruments to gather information. Whether for business, government, or academic purposes, data collection provides first-hand knowledge and original insights that are vital in completing meaningful research. The selection of data collection methods should be based on the following. First, the identified hypothesis or research problem. Second, the research design. And lastly, the information gathered about the variables. In collecting the data, the researcher must decide which data to collect, how to collect the data, who will collect the data, when to collect the data. Data can be classified as primary or secondary data. Primary data includes information collected from an original source of data, which is first-hand in nature. Secondary data includes information collected from published or unpublished sources, such as books, newspapers, and theses. Data collection essentially falls under two main categories: primary data collection and secondary data collection. Is the act of gathering raw data collected for a specific research. It can be divided into qualitative research method and quantitative method. On the other hand, secondary data collection takes place when you collect data from a secondary source rather than from the original one. This kind of data can be sourced from online portals, books and journals that have been already published. It is often the easier and cheaper method when compared to primary data collection. The qualitative research method basically depends on the non-calculable elements like the emotions, opinions, and feelings. This method does not involve any numbers or calculations whatsoever. A fine example of a qualitative data collection method would be open-ended feedback, like a survey form you send out to customers. As opposed to qualitative methods of data collection, quantitative method depends on numbers and mathematical calculations to help you arrive at a conclusion. Any close-ended question that demands calculated answers, like the ones involving mean, median, mode, etc. A classic example of this type of data collection is polls. You're mainly interested in the numbers they produce to reach your conclusions, decisions. Your choice between primary data collection and secondary data collection depends on the nature, scope, and area of your research as well as its aims and objectives. These are the steps in collecting data. First, determine what information you want to collect. Second, set a time frame for data collection. Third, determine your data collection method. Fourth, collect the data. And lastly, analyze the data and implement the findings. There are a bunch of underlying reasons for collecting data, especially for a researcher. Walking you through them, here are a few reasons. 1. Integrity of the research. 2. Reduce the likelihood of errors. 3. Decision-making. 4. Save cost and time. 5. To support a need for a new idea, change, and/or innovation.